Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Thompson, and this week you shrugged as if you disagreed with who I am.
No, I disagreed with my hair.
I see. Fair. I'm one of your hosts, Jack and Kris, and this week, once again, I'm joined by one Kristian Lasham. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I've had a cracking day.
Pray tell.
I got up, I played a new video game.
A new video game?
I then went to a very quick food shop, and I mean quick. I was in and out quick food shop.
Like many other aspects.
Yes. Got back from the food shop, my mother phones.
Outrageous. New video game day, you should have blocked her number.
I would have agreed, but at this point I was about to just embark and then watch Mission Impossible.
I see.
You see. So she phoned, and then she was like, I'm about to go out for lunch on my own. Do you want to come with me? I was like, if you're buying, I'll come out to lunch with you. She was like, yeah, I'll buy. I was like, excellent. Free lunch. Went out for a free lunch, and not only was a pretty good free lunch, but had a Milky Bar Millionaire shortbread.
Where is this? Because we need to go.
So this is a cafe called High Beaches. It's not far from here. It took like 10 minutes to get to it. I've never been there before. And it was like a homemade thing. And it was quite big. Millionaire shortbread with Milky Bar white chocolate on the top. And it was one of the best things I've ever had. I mean, as anything with white chocolate or Milky Bar.
Anything with Milky Bar.
We've established this on the channel previously. Mm-hmm. Most things are improved by adding Milky Bar.
Agreed. Maybe not steak, but...
I'd try it. That's all I'm saying. I would try it. Yeah, it was great. And then came back, watched Mission Impossible.
Yep.
Played some more new video game. Had a bowl of curly fries for dinner. Because I had quite a big lunch. I didn't feel like I needed to eat too much.
A whole dinner,
but I was peckish. Yeah. It was snacky. So, bowl of curly fries. And now we're here. I've had a good day.
That does sound good. We need to go to this place.
Yeah.
Immediately. Is it like an afternoon cafe that shuts at like 5? Like these sorts of places.
Yeah. So it's like a tea room place in like a National Trust style garden.
See, with our schedules, it causes a problem.
Yes.
So Richo may not come in on Friday. Oh, you'll be at work. I may not come in next Tuesday. I jest, of course.
On Monday.
Either way, I feel Rich would be cross.
He's welcome to join, if that makes it any better.
Because I need some Milky Bar millionaire shortbread specifically. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast. I'm about to completely and utterly wing the rigmarole. So
that doesn't sound like you.
I normally fuck up the thing I've planned, so this is going to be interesting. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. I'm not going to wing it. And you can follow multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
You skipped the bit that we do and included the bit we don't do.
I didn't skip anything.
You skipped Twitch.
Oh, Twitch. Yes. I skipped Twitch. See, I got inside my own head, and it was the cadence. I didn't know how to follow up the cadence.
That's Hannah and Rich. Caden's not here.
Follow us on shit.
Jack.
We're here to talk about Mission Impossible.
It's September!
When did it end?
At the end of September.
Well, because early at the beginning of the month, you started saying dates like the 20-somethings, not the actual end of September.
I feel like it's got to be the end of this week then, because this is the last full week of September.
That's true. It is September, which means if you are a first-time subscriber, you get 20% off the subscription price, but we still get our full cut. So if you've been on the edge of subscribing, please consider doing so, as it helps us out a lot, and it helps me throw rigmaroles in the bin and have but back-end conversations.
Somehow that's worse.
That is worse. Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible 5 came out, according to this picture, on July 31st. Oh, and it would have been 2015. The main thing I remember about this movie and seeing this movie in the cinema is I went to pee 4 times.
Right.
And I thought, this is it.
undiagnosed infection or
Yes,
something? Or,
yes. I thought I had no more prostate. I was dying. I would be dead by credits, is what I assumed. Is what I assumed at that point. It got to the point where I was sitting there again, and I was like, I'm very sorry. And then the people who I was with just looked at me and went, you may as well just stay there. We'll tell you what happens. Just stay.
Is it maybe just you're particularly excited about Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, and
Ving Rhames.
Luther on screen? Is that...
Ving... I mean...
It's a good lineup of cast, isn't it?
But that's a party, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
That is a party.
Yeah.
Other than this film is the film that pointed out that Jeremy Renner has really weird fingers.
Did it point that out? I didn't know.
Well, I didn't point it out, but it was very obvious because he was holding a phone like this with the camera like here.
I didn't notice.
He has very his fingernails like bulge out. They're
see.
like very curved. And it's
That's
odd.
probably all of the bow handling he's been doing.
I doubt it.
Yep.
I have doubts. It
Yep.
seems more. Anyway, general thoughts. What did you think of Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation?
As seems to be the ever-increasing pattern so far, doing a Mission Impossible movies, I had a very good time with this film. Very much enjoyed this film. I think there was a lot of really good stuff in it. Some good action sequences, some good character play. Simon Pegg, fantastic as always. Jeremy Renner, loved watching Jeremy Renner. I said this last week. I just enjoy watching Jeremy Renner, although he didn't have much to do in this, and he didn't have any of the things that I like the most about watching Jeremy Renner. I still enjoyed the time he was on screen, so this is okay. Tom Cruise, very good. Rebecca Ferguson was very, very good. Yeah, I had a good time with this film. I don't think I preferred it over last one, over Ghost Protocol.
That's fair enough.
I think Ghost Protocol I enjoyed that much more. I think that might be just because Ghost Protocol for me was like a big leap.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels just kind of more of the same in a way, but with a few kind of more, I'd say predictable plot points, mainly because I can't work out the best way of phrasing it, because I don't, yeah, predictable. There was just a few bits as I know what's going to happen here. It's clear what's going to happen here. And a lot of the twists as they were going through was like, okay, I can see this is going to happen just before they happened.
I wouldn't even go so far as to call them twists,
Well, yeah,
as opposed to just
kinks.
reveals.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than anything. Like,
Yeah. I agree. Yeah,
Hannah says it's better if you watch them 4 years apart. I feel that may have had, like, that would have been hard to schedule. I think. But I had watched them 4 years apart.
But Hannah says there, I found by this point they've become very enjoyable, somewhat silly films. I agree. Like it's not.
4
in any
was
way...
where it found this is what Mission Impossible is.
Yeah.
And it does. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Next week is kind of the same thing. It follows the same tone. I think next week's better.
That's fair. See, I did not dislike this film by any sense. I just think Ghost Protocol was overall a better movie. I think it did.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think between the last three, it's kind of like, yeah, fair. It's like a do you prefer Infinity War or Endgame scenario.
Yeah.
It's like, would you like a masterpiece or perfection? Not that either of these are masterpieces or perfection, but you get what I'm going for. So that's fair enough. That is absolutely fair enough. I prefer this one to Ghost Protocol, but that's just because I think this one's easier to rewatch as opposed to, I think, Ghost Protocol is a lot slower. There's a lot more plot and thinky and all that kind of stuff. So once you already know where that's going, kind of watching it again is less interesting.
That's fair. I can
Whereas
see that.
this is more action based, so it's got that.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, I've only seen each one once, so
exactly.
I don't have that perspective on it. But I can see where you're going there. So maybe my opinion would sway if I was doing a second watch of them all. But yeah, currently off the run I've had so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I've seen all these films many times, so yeah, I think rewatching them, I've enjoyed 5 the most so far, and I think I'm going to enjoy 6 the most because I remember particularly enjoying that movie. I think it is very good, and we get a very mustachioed Henry Cavill. So
we do. I remember that. I remember that from when I've seen it.
Spoilers.
Do you do spoilers?
Yes, let's do it.
10 minutes exactly. Look at that.
Look at that. There's a lot in this movie. I want to talk about the opening. because the opening is pretty good. So this is one of the ridiculous stunts that Tom Cruise has actually done and decided to just hold on to the side of a taking off plane. And I feel like, look inwards. Why are you doing this? Why is this happening? Why have you decided today's the day I'm going to hold on to the side of a cargo plane? But they did also have a moment where I go, end movie, Ethan Hunt is dead.
Now, this is what I was going to say. This happens many times in this film. There are many points of dead.
But there's this one in particular at the very beginning. Benji accidentally opens the rear door.
Yep.
Opens the side door. He then gets sucked in and spine first slapped onto the back at the side of the plane. So not only does he not then just slip out the back, causing death.
And euphemisms.
And euphemisms, yes. But I said youth. But that back broken, at the very least, you are not walking.
Oh, he got battered around as he got sucked in as well.
Yeah, just boom, 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 smash, spine. And then he survived that. Fine. We'll move on. Then he decides to just strap himself to nuclear missiles and just pull the chute as they get sucked in. What's he doing in the landing scenario? Because he's on the bottom.
Yep.
He's on the bottom in that landing scenario.
Well, I presume that goes into an Uncharted 3 style sequence where he climbs himself around it. That would be my guess.
He goes full Nathan Drake and just Spider-Man's his way around some cargo, as it were. But I just wanted to address the death.
Well, that's the first death. Then there's a point later on where he drowns. He's actually dead.
Oh, yes, but in fairness to the movie, he died.
But then immediately reverses a car through the air, which flips and flips and flips 17 times. Fine. Gets out, gets on a motorbike, which again, he then slides and flips and flips and flips and flips 100 times. He's fine.
I would say...
Dead in both instances.
I would
Dead.
say the more unrealistic thing about that moment is how many times the car flipped. He was going maybe 40 miles an hour.
But if the car did flip that many times, dead.
Hannah brought out a very good point. They were wearing seatbelts. It wasn't on the bike. We can't really argue that. But
see, the only stop.
I'm joking. I'm sure Hannah is as well. That is not going to save you in that scenario.
I am aware of many humans that have died whilst wearing seatbelts in car accidents.
Yes. I also... Airbags have also killed people as well.
I did enjoy that sequence though, where like Benji's just passed out and just wakes up screaming.
Look out!
I do think this is Simon Pegg's best film of the Mission Impossible films so far. I think he has a lot to do in both the serious points and the comic stuff. I think he's very, very good in this film. Has a lot of really good parts.
Yep, he does. Yep, I think he does well as a dramatic actor in this one. Obviously, one scene in particular after the opera.
Yes, that's
after
the,
the
one
opera.
I had in mind,
I did like the line. It could be more dramatic. This is serious, Benji. If you want drama, go to the opera. And then it just pans up to the opera. I was like, excellent. Ethan Hunt is a fugitive and is making jokes, and I'm a fan. I approve. I approve. Hannah says Simon Pegg was a joy.
He was indeed.
She also says, I also don't feel you should drive when you've just died. And then Simon Pegg just says that. He's
just like, say you were dead a moment ago.
What are you talking about? I enjoyed this movie from a comedic standpoint.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very, very good. The issues I take with it, I want to just throw the issues out there quickly because I do have a few issues. So, as I said, there was a few of these sort of reveals and twists that I found quite predictable, especially the back and forth with Rebecca Ferguson's character. She's a good guy. She's a bad guy. She's a good guy. She's a bad guy. She's like, okay, I see what's going to happen here. And kind of like the sequence where he has to go into the calling vent, where he has only 2 minutes or whatever, which seemed to jump from 2 minutes to 3 minutes to probably actually 5 minutes and stuff all over the place, which was a good sequence. But there was a lot in that as well where I was thinking, come on, Ethan. Even I could work out that arm was going to swing round and hit you. You can see the track that you're in front of on the thing. Like, there was a few points where I was just like, I feel like you should be doing better here. But that whole thing was clearly from the beginning. To me, I could see it from the very beginning. It's not going to go right, and she's going to jump down to save him. It was so obvious because they foreshadowed the fact that she was timing how long she could hold her breath when they first saw her at the swimming pool.
Yeah, I think that was meant to make you think, like, because she mentions that she's been prepping to do it herself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a...
That's the excuse written into the story as to why she's been practicing that.
Of course, but I mean...
I feel like that only becomes relevant to actually show you if that becomes relevant to your plot. Otherwise, they could just say in passing.
Agreed.
I've been trying myself, but I just can't do it. And then that's all you need to say.
I wonder, because it wasn't as obvious. The flip-flopping wasn't as obvious to me the first time I watched it. But I'm wondering if it became immediately obvious to you because she's in the next one.
Possibly. Yeah, that's probably it, to be fair, because I knew she was in the next one, yeah. That's true. That is very true.
Not to say it isn't predictable. I'm sure people just went, she's a good guy from the very beginning. But
the main one for me, as I said, was I could tell she's going to get him out of this situation. She's going to get in there and grab him from there. I could see that coming a mile off. There was the bit when they've then got the Prime Minister, who, by the way, that actor, Jim.
That scene was very funny. I really enjoyed that scene.
Normally, I don't remember that actor's name.
And then the secretary saved your life. Oh, did you? I'm very grateful.
I know it's Jim. What is it? Tell me. It's not. It's Tom Hollander. I'm an idiot. I'm sure he's played the Prime Minister in quite a few films.
He is one of those people who plays the Prime Minister. It's like that, like, middle-aged, ginger, bald man who always plays military people. Very nearly bald, I should say. Otherwise, how do you know he's ginger? Yes.
How many times has Tom Hollander...
I'm going to find the guy I'm referring to.
The Prime...
Because he always plays a general. Always plays a general. And then when I say his name, Hannah, I want you to Google him and see what I mean when I say he always plays a general. I'm going to type in general.
Don't let me down.
Ginger guy's bit... Oh, so many things. The one I can absolutely remember is the first Transformers.
You're letting me down, IMDb and Wikipedia. I was hoping if I just go on actor.
His name's Glenn Morshower.
The reason I thought that guy's name was Jim is because he plays someone called Jim in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, fair enough. Him. You'll see him as general in everything. Glenn Morshower.
So, Mission Impossible Prime Minister. I bet there's not going to be anything else, but I'm sure I've seen him in something else as the Prime Minister before. Come on. Don't let me down.
This is thrilling content.
Don't let me down. It's letting me down. This is all going incredibly wrong. I'm sure I've seen him as the Prime Minister before in something else.
You've scrolled so far back that even if he has played the Prime Minister before, it's not as much as you're saying. So
yeah, I've clearly.
So I think we should just move on.
Literally not on there at all. I'm an idiot. Sorry. But that sequence, Ethan Hunt was clearly in there in a mask. I just couldn't work out which one he was.
I'd say that's less of a flaw and probably more the point.
Maybe, yeah. I just found it predictable. So I was just the whole time I was just like, can you just reveal the fact that Ethan Hunt's in here now, please? I thought this is going on for a very long time because I knew it was going to get to that point. But I couldn't work out if it was the MI5 guy or Alec Baldwin's character. I couldn't work out which one of them was masked up, or possibly even Jeremy Renner. But as soon as there was a point where Alec Baldwin's giving the lecture about who Ethan Hunt was.
The thing you heard about me skipping work was that we need to go and have a Milky Bar millionaire shortbread. What?
Yeah, shortbread.
Yeah, shortbread.
Shortbread, caramel, Milky Bar.
This needs to happen, but we don't get any afternoons together, so unfortunately, I have lack of Milky Bar millionaire shortbread itis. Yes, yes. Here's a doctor's note. It's just a receipt. It's just a receipt for that. We did say you are welcome to join.
Yeah, we said that too.
You can watch that back as evidence. It is there. It is there. Yeah, no, I think all those issues are fair enough.
None of them are major issues at all. There were just a few little things. I just found it as I was going along where I didn't have that watching the first one as much. And then my other big issue, and this is actually my biggest issue of the film, is I think Jeremy Renner is completely underused in this film because he's not given a chance to be much of a field agent. And Jeremy Renner is I said this last week, and I've said it a few times about Jeremy Renner. He's very, very good at being an action star. I want to see him on screen in fight sequences and everything else. I enjoy watching him in that way.
He is. So. I am almost certain this will be because of Age of Ultron.
I've no doubt there's some kind of scheduling conflict stuff, so he wasn't able to be as present in the film.
This came out like 2 months after Age of Ultron. So I imagine that was largely
no doubt.
to do with it, unfortunately.
I just feel like it, personally, I feel like it does the film a bit of a disservice because I just feel like he's underused.
He is underutilized, absolutely. Like it plays into the story and the actual plot of the film well enough that he's not out there. But he's clearly taken over, like, he runs the IMF now as opposed to a field agent. But, it's a shame.
And he's still very good in it as well. And I think that's why it kind of becomes a shame because... I want to see more of him. I want to watch more films with Jeremy Renner in. I think
there aren't that many.
I think I've just learned I really like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, that's fair enough. There really aren't that many, which is like especially action-heavy ones, which is very bizarre. It's kind
why I'm predicting Hawkeye to be a 10 out of 10. There's going to be 8 weeks of Jeremy Renner. Yes.
It is going to be 8 weeks of Jeremy Renner as an action person. Yes. I hadn't even thought about that. 8 weeks of it.
And as Hawkeye, who I like.
I like Hawkeye.
I like Hawkeye.
I like Hawkeye, yeah.
So, because he has the best weapon. These are all things we have discussed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is worth noting, by the way. Another Marvel show that isn't 6 weeks and convenient for us is 8 weeks and inconvenient for us.
Yes.
But we'll get to that when it's time. Because... why have I forgot that? Other than the flipping 907 times, though, that car chase was very enjoyable.
It was. I mean, even the flipping 907 times was enjoyable.
That's true.
Yeah, all of the action sequences I thought were really good. The car sequence was great. The bike sequence was great. The infiltration sequences they did were really good. It had that Mission Impossible flair to it. Right, you got to get in here, fingerprint scan this, do that, do this in time. All very good. I take umbrage with every film that does this. Countdown clock that stops just in time. That always irritates me. It's just such a cliche.
Oh yes, 0.13 seconds.
Yeah,
yes.
It always irritates me because it's such a cliche that it's not tense.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Especially in that scenario where it's just like, oh yeah, all the heroes of the franchise plus hundreds of civilians are about to be paced. It seems unlikely. Either
don't do it or make them get out of it in a very different way, like as opposed to just the timer manages to be stopped just in time. I just find that I take any film that does that nowadays, I take an issue with.
Absolutely. I agree. I don't particularly enjoy the timer thing.
Unless it's done in parody. If it's done in parody, then maybe I can.
But I don't even like parody.
It's another one of those things. It's a parody that's been done 100 times over, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
so I guess
every parody has been done. Yeah. Like the whole Scary Movie scenario. Scary Movie was interesting because it wasn't a common thing, but then you got epic movie and action movie and superhero movie and love movie and fuck movie and all kinds of stuff. This movie was the first one to actually have a director come back. No, this movie caused. So the writer-director for this one came back for 6, is back for 7, and is back for 8. So they clearly liked what he was doing, and Tom Cruise clearly liked what he is doing, as he is. So not only is this similar to the Fast and Furious franchise in that they get sillier and just more out there as time goes on, but the lead actor seems to take ownership and just say,
"Yep,
you have to do things my way." However, the difference there being Tom Cruise is actually good at it.
Yeah.
Whereas Vin Diesel leaves a lot to be desired, I think, in his style, to the point where he managed to make the nicest actor seemingly ever, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, rage quit from a franchise that was probably paying him a lot of money.
Not that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson needs it.
No.
Isn't he the highest paid man in Hollywood? I think that is...
He was at some point, but that usually depends on whether Iron Man was a thing in the year, because then it was Robert Downey Jr.
I suppose. I think it's consistently highest paid man, because obviously he has his income that comes in from more than just
cinema. Yeah, that's fair enough, but then does that count?
I'd argue.
Well,
so.
yeah, it counts as obviously he's being paid, but it's not from Hollywood.
I said from Hollywood. I said in Hollywood. He lives in Hollywood.
Yes, I know. But in which case, if you go down that route, there are probably people in Hollywood who get paid more than. If you want to get fucking technical. Jeez.
I think Hollywood is just seen as it's just a colloquial term that means show business.
I know it does, but it's a physical place.
I know it's a physical place.
And apparently a shithole as well.
No doubt. Yeah, I'd agree. That does not surprise me in the slightest.
There's Beverly Hills and then shit is pretty much the establishment of Hollywood. I mean, anywhere that has a sign and place name that big, like if you need that much reminded, your locals are probably a bit... Normally, you just have a sign at the entrance, a small one. Welcome to Crawley. And then Crawley's a bad example because everyone's... But you don't need reminding. Well, where the fuck am I? Oh, yeah. Anyway. This film's a bit good. I can't remember any of the action. I watched this last night. Why can't I remember any of the other action sequences? You got swimmy swim.
Swimmy swim.
Drivey drive.
Drivey drive. Two-wheel drivey drive. Planey plane.
Two-wheel drivey drive. I'd argue that's the same sequence.
Yeah.
Planey plane. We've talked about Planey plane. And he died.
Opera.
Opera. Yes. Sing.
Sing, much better. Yeah.
So I thought that was one of the better ones. Hannah has put opera shooty shoot. Yes, absolutely.
There was a lot of shooty.
Hannah said that she thought that went on a bit too long, but I really like that sequence start to finish. I don't think it overstayed too much to me.
No, I don't.
I did think some of the tech in that scene got a bit ridiculous. What was that fucking Kindle newspaper laptop business? What the fuck was that?
I don't think it went on too long, but I do think that it went on unrealistically long before anyone would notice. Because there was a lot of stuff where, like, they took out the people in the control room. So you're telling me, and I know from someone who works on shows and has worked on shows of lesser standard than that, at some point very quickly after, a cue was missed.
Yes.
And then another one was missed. And then another one was missed. And then another one was missed. And at some point, like...
Someone's going to clock on.
Plus, the people up in the control room are not the only people... There is a reason why the two people in the control room sat next to each other have headsets on. That's not to communicate with them. It's to communicate with the conductor and the people backstage and everywhere else. It would someone would have clotted on pretty quickly.
I feel if you hear it,
yeah,
you may be like.
So I just plus like Ethan Hunt and the dude were fighting on the rigging above the stage.
That was moving.
It was moving up and down. So someone's going, well, that's not. There's people fighting on that, and a corpse falls off it. Where did that go? Like he dropped the case off it, and then the guy fell off it, and no. What you're saying here happened before when no one could see him in a theatre. They're not that big, these places. Like, he's falling somewhere where someone is seeing there is a corpse. So that was more the umbrage I had taken with it, is that...
Nah, part of the show, wasn't it?
Just that bit, so, like, they would have been noticed much earlier, is more why it's like...
I did like the flute gun, though, or whatever instrument. The
flute gun was very cool. Like, all the gadgets and stuff they were using, or what the choreography of the sequence was very good. And the whole stuff, again, with Benji... like punching something and it moving.
I just liked how they didn't just cut to the thing moving; they actually cut to the dial. Dial. That thing, the fader. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just went. That's why digital discs are very funny, because you could just watch them go.
Oh, it's my favourite thing to do when I was operating shows with a digital desk with an iPad control, and stand on the other side of the room when someone's standing near the desk and just start moving things.
Excellent. My type of prank.
Yeah,
my type of joke. Other than
careful.
I wasn't going there. I was just going very naughty.
But I did the sequence was good. And I like again that there's been a few times where Benji like gets involved, and as you say, that then leads on to that speech of him and Ethan Hunt where he's like, no, I'm a field agent. You've called me to need my help, so I'm gonna fucking help you. Like, it's very good. Very
good dramatic acting from one Simon Pegg there. I feel the villain must have been really annoyed at the end of the shoot by talking like this all the time. It must have been very uncomfortable, because I already would quite like a drink. Like, that can't be his real voice.
No. Villain was not a strong point for me either.
I think it was fine. I think it wasn't...
Yeah, I think it was fine.
Yeah. It wasn't an over strong point or a particular negative to the film. I think he serviced it fine.
A good villain is a villain that you kind of see as being intellectually terrifying, and I didn't see him as that. I just saw him as he's a nuisance, isn't he? Like, they tried to make him terrifying at the beginning, with obviously locking Ethan in that room and him just shooting the girl and staring at him. They tried to add some, this guy's got some balls, but I never felt that. I just felt like this guy's...
He's clearly very smart.
Very smart,
but they show that...
He's too smug. He was too smug all the way through. It was just like, I don't see him as a risk.
Yeah, no, he was... But they showed all of his intelligence, like, before you ever even... Not before you see him, but before you meet him properly in the film, and that all of his intelligence stuff is, like, off camera. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's just Ethan explaining what he's done and why that's... Like, how that's clever and why that's kind of... frightening, but yeah, him as an on-screen presence never really gives off the I'm clever enough to defeat you.
There was something we were talking about not so long ago that had a villain, which I said was good for that was just put off an energy of this guy's scary. I can't remember what it was. That's irritating.
The last one?
Was it the last one?
Maybe, I don't know.
Who was the villain in the last one?
The guy, I don't know how to describe him. The nuclear launch codes thing. That seems to be the thing of all these movies. Yes. He's the guy that falls off the car park or jumps off the car park.
I don't think it was him.
The third one?
I don't know.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
It was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, it was Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was him.
But that's because Philip Seymour Hoffman was phenomenal.
Yes, yeah.
He is hard to top, and I kind of feel like they never do. They haven't so far, personally. I don't think they ever will top in terms of villains. Philip Seymour Hoffman, because he was incredible. They might have done if they had actually gotten what Hannah says. They actually gotten Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep, I think he would have been very good in that role
because he just oozes intelligence anyway
and charisma.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Sherlock is a prime example of him just oozing intelligence. Less charisma, but
I'd even argue Khan in Star Trek.
Yeah. I don't think he did great. I think it was an odd choice for that movie.
Perhaps his energy and what he brings to
for sure, he was great. It was just odd. Sorry, it was odd to make him Khan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's all I mean. But he was great in that movie. He's great all the time. Mm-hmm. So it would have been nice to see. They can still do it. It will be. I hope one day we get Benedict Cumberbatch as like a big villain.
Yeah.
In either Mission Impossible or anything. It would be great.
Yep, that'd be
Imagine
cool.
Benedict Cumberbatch in Fast and Furious. That'd be hilarious.
Well, rumours seem to be that he might be a bit of a villain in No Way Home.
Well, yes, that's the internet going, this looks like this in the trailer.
I know, but still, I said rumours.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Entirely possible.
There you go. The other thing that I've noticed with these films now, and I decided that I would just like it if they didn't do, and I kind of get why, and I don't have a huge issue with it. I just like it if they didn't. I would like it if one of these plot lines wasn't the IMF is going to shit. The IMF has been disavowed. The IMF is being corrupt. The IMF is... I would like it if one of them was just, the IMF has a mission for you, and they're really fucking good. And we're going to use the IMF and use all of our powers and all of everything we have within our ability. Like, I'd like to see more of that. Because so far, we haven't really had that. It's always been IMF this, that.
Yeah. I was about to say the next one, but I'm pretty sure that's Ethan Hunt's been accused.
He's been accused of something again.
Yeah, I agree. I think it gets to a point where you're just like, how is this fucking agency sort of thing?
Yeah.
To the point where that's what this one was. It was shut down.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it's just like, yeah, cool. Actually, Hannah is correct. That is what happened in 2. He just went on a mission.
Is what happens in 2.
But that's the shittest one. So that's
But there's not the shit is one for that reason.
No. Like, that's not why it's
not
shit.
Not the reason that it's shit. So I feel like if you were to make the film in the style they're making the films now, but without the plot lines simply being, oh, the IMF is... Because at some point as well, you've got to imagine Ethan Hunt is clever enough to go, should we just ditch this? Because this is causing us some... Should we make our own IMF?
Shall I just be what they think I am?
Yeah.
Because
I'm doing
last 20 years not proven that whenever you say I've gone rogue, I absolutely fucking have not.
Yeah.
Have I not given you enough to just fucking trust
Also,
me?
I have set up my own team of people which do it without your help and any of the things you provide. So why don't you just start your own? Why don't you call it the AIMF, the Actually Impossible Mission Federation?
Federation?
Front.
Force.
Thank you. Fucking no, it's a shit name.
The Impossible Mission Force. It's not great, is it? You're doomed to fail.
But I would just like to see something a little bit more. Yeah, a lot of these spy films that Bond started getting into doing it as well, where it's just
that is literally the point of Bourne.
Bourne, but it is literally the point of Bourne, and it's one coherent story.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. It's not even that. The Federation's being shut down. It is. He has inadvertently escaped what's happening and has realised it's a bad thing. And because they're trying to tie up loose ends, their conflict comes. So it kind of makes more sense in Bourne, but it is everywhere. This
is the first film which didn't have a dangly bit. I don't understand. Please.
I mean, he dangles off a plane.
Please explain.
If we're talking about him dangling off things, he dangles off a plane. So I feel like it's...
But did he dangle in 4? Oh, he dangled off the side of the fucking Burj Khalifa.
for a big amount of time.
Did he dangle in the third one?
Probably dangled off something. That's the thing about Tom Cruise. Very short, but lots of dangle.
Lots of dangle.
Take that how you will.
Jeremy Renner was suspended above the magnets. It's less dangling. More just floating. One was in the White Room. I don't know about 2. I don't know what the dangle was in 2.
At the cliff at the beginning.
That's fair. But Hannah's clearly talking about pure suspension as opposed to holding on to something. If it was talking about Jeremy Renner floating.
Well, they did suggest doing it. He was like, can I do an air vent? Can I do the shafty thing? Can I do... Like, they put it forward. It's just it was all underwater. So I had to swim.
We can do the shafty thing.
Depends if you buy me a millionaire Milky Bar shortbread thing. That's what I'm saying.
All I suggest doing is going there now and just knocking until they give us one.
Yeah, I'm game.
The Mission Impossible films have all had a being dropped down and landing horizontally moment. Oh, the third one did. Yeah, he had the one where he rolled off the wall and just did whoosh.
Oh, yeah.
I've descended. Yeah, it did. I still can't remember what the second one is. But moving on, danglies bits aside.
While we're here, Hannah, how many face rip-offs did you tally? I remember there being 1.
I think there was 1.
2. Might have been 2. Because there was the one where Tom Cruise rips off his mask.
There was the one in the flash forward.
In the flash forward
sequence
didn't happen. Yeah, with Benji. Yeah, so I think it might have been 2, but 1 real, 1 hypothetical. Excellent. 2 face rip-offs.
Two. And I'm sad for Benji. Aren't we all? Yeah. Aren't we all? Benji needs more loving.
Agreed.
Because why didn't they go through with the face part? I don't know. I mean, it would probably be a bit odd if you were wearing somebody else's face that they could recognise and then logging into a different profile. Probably be a bit odd.
Yeah.
So they just added a profile for him.
Yeah, which makes sense.
It does make sense. Yes. Yes. That's quite cool, though. A scanner that can sense how you walk. What if you stubbed your toe on the way in?
Or anything. Just feeling a bit groggy.
Tripped.
Yeah.
Staggered. Pissed.
Probably shouldn't be going to
hungover.
work. Massive confederation at that. If you yeah, I see what you're saying.
These are the rich and powerful. They do whatever the fuck
This is a
they
good
like.
point. They also just leave suitcases full of important documents on trains. So, very good point.
But the profile was only added once he was going through.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
But it probably it would have shown up as his profile though. So
I I don't know how it
I
works.
don't fucking know.
I see.
I like my thing with the ignoring all outside input. I'm correct. Moving on. Hannah says I'd be a nightmare. Sometimes I can walk normally. Sometimes I can't even make it a few steps. The gait analysis wouldn't have a clue with me. Yeah. I sometimes trip over my own foot.
Which is what I mean. Like, if you've had a particularly heavy lunch and you're walking just a little bit, bit bloated. Oh.
Or if you're on stage 2 of that particularly heavy lunch.
Yeah.
And you're about to,
and you're clinching.
And you're penguin walking to the nearest porcelain.
Exactly. This is exactly my point. Like,
I feel it's flawed.
it feels problematic, doesn't it?
It does feel problematic. There was something on the news that's very problematic that I need to tell you.
There's
It doesn't
many
seem
things on the news that are problematic, but
this is particularly problematic, but it is problematic in a sense of I'm not going to talk about it on here.
okay. All right.
So
I'm going to write down the word problematic in the hope that we remember to talk about it later.
yeah, fair. I think I'm all chatted up about Rogue Nation. I don't think I have much more else to say. It's a very good film if you've not seen Rogue Nation in a while.
It's very good. I
Go
think
watch it.
Yeah, it is exactly what Mission Impossible needs to do. It has an interesting. It still has an interesting plot line. It has some really good humor and comedy, light-hearted moments, some fun, over-the-top action sequences, some great use
I
of
did
gadgets.
get a good chuckle of the. This is a high-speed chase. You just had to get the 4x4. You had to get the biggest one. I got a good chuckle.
Yeah, any of that stuff I really enjoyed. It's very good. That obviously the bit I say where Benji wakes up with the crash. But then obviously when he goes and gets off the bike, and then it just cuts back to Luther and Ren. I always forget Ren's name. Blunt.
It could be a minute. Brand,
that was close. It just cuts back them. They just look up and watch him drive off on the bike.
oh yeah, they go full meerkat.
Yeah.
And just,
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff like that. I think, as I said, I think all of them very good on screen. Rebecca Ferguson's really good in this movie. Mm-hmm. She has some really good parts. Mm-hmm. The sequence where she goes in to confront Lane, whatever his name is, and that guy like grabs her and she just like spins around, hurricane kicks things and onto the foot. It's very good. I appreciate probably a stunt double.
probably. This is a complete side. This is more a Rebecca Ferguson question as opposed to a Mission Impossible, because you'll probably know. Greatest Showman.
Mm.
Was it her songs that were dubbed by a singer?
Yes, and was her choice.
I'm sure.
So she was hired to sing it and sung it in the auditions, and then she said when the actual songs were given to her, she went, "I'm done. Someone else needs to sing that. I can't pull that off in the way you want me to." So then it was Lauren Allred, who was an X Factor winner or runner-up, or something. The song.
Probably a good choice, clearly, because the person they got was rather good.
It was very good, very
It was
good.
really good. And
Yeah,
it's
she's
nice to see someone successful in Hollywood be humble enough to make that decision, to be honest.
Yeah, but she's the only one in the film that doesn't sing her role.
Does she not sing at all, or is it just Never Enough? Or is Never Enough her only song?
Never Enough is her only solo song.
Okay.
I don't know if she sings other stuff, but obviously Never Enough is the big one.
Yeah.
Specifically, she doesn't sing for that song.
That's fair enough. I knew there was someone. I thought it was Rick. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I remember it being a thing. It was like, oh, she shouldn't sing it, but it was
quite common in musicals
and
as well.
it was literally just I made this decision. I was asked to sing it, but
I've just looked at Rebecca Ferguson up, and she's younger than me.
but yeah, she made the call not to, which I think is fair enough. Also, I feel like we should do at some point. I'll get to the epiphany I've had, but at some point we should do Great Showman.
Agreed, because I don't need much of an excuse to watch that movie. So, with a movie, I feel we should watch it together and just have a sing along.
This is fine by me.
Yes.
Now that's a rabbit hole show.
It's a very copyrighted rabbit hole show, but I'm down nonetheless. I just want there's the scene where Ethan and Ilsa first meet each other. No, it took me a moment. First meet each other, and the upper apparel is removed. Mm-hmm. He's in very good shape.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Tom Cruise, for a man that is pushing 60. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he wasn't at the time.
Rich, you're fired.
What? What did he say? Greatest Showman is not an awful movie, but it does have great music. At least you said here it has great music. Literally, 1962, so next year, Tom Cruise turns 60.
So he would have been...
Say they were filming in 2014, he would have been 50...
Early 50s.
54-ish.
Yeah, 54-ish as they're filming, yeah.
54, 55.
He's a good
Lord above. Lord above. Do you know what I'm going to look like when I'm 60? Probably a skeleton with cobwebs and some whatever clothes I was wearing still slightly there because they've been eaten and I've been eaten. And
Is that because you expect to die by 60 or when you're 60?
I mean, I've always thought I'd be surprised to see 30.
Okay.
So,
well, you still might not.
so exactly.
A couple of years for it to
yeah,
go
exactly.
very south very
So
quickly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, for example, like a month ago, I could hear.
Tom Cruise is now older than John Voight was in the first film, and John Voight looked near death in that movie.
To be fair, John Voight has always looked old.
That's true.
I don't think I've ever seen him where he doesn't look old.
It's the whole Patrick Stewart never ages thing. I was like, that's because Patrick Stewart looked 90 when he was born. It's like, it's not particularly hard to do so. It's just John Voight has always been old. Yeah, I just think it's somewhat annoying that he's a 60-year-old man that looks better than I ever have or will.
Yep. Very talented.
But all of them do, let's be real. All of them do. This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast. Thank you very much for joining us today. And if you like what you're doing, and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet, but you can't really.
Indeed.
And now
also, sorry, I just want to say, Rich says being Angeloni's dad obviously ages you. I don't want to know what he means by that.
I'm not sure what that means either. I'm not sure what he means.
Follow up to his next comment. Looking forward to being in the studio on Saturday. Let's see what If brings this week. Shit.
Dross, probably. And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK and on TikTok at rabbitholemedia for all the behind-the-scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you are watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love.
It's September.
Yes, that is correct. It is indeed September, which means if you are a first-time subscriber or sitting on the edge of becoming a first-time subscriber, you get 20% off your subscription. But we still get the full ka-ching. So, consider taking that leap. It will be greatly appreciated.
Again, gonna buy some new lights.
Yes. It's not that hot in here today, though.
Windows open.
Windows open. It's usually open.
Been planning.
Windows usually open. But the upcoming.
Busy week. Busy couple of weeks ahead. It's just busy now.
It is just busy for the rest of the year. We are going to become more and more tired.
Should we can announce Submit 1 now. Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Oh, strap in.
We'll have to do it again on Saturday because many people
That's
aren't
fine.
here.
This can be the official. This is the thing. If you don't come to every Admit 1, you might miss out on cool announcements.
Exactly.
Sammy. George. Logical Robot. Extreme Sports.
We're going to have to clip this bit and put it in the...
Charlie.
We don't talk about Charlie.
Charlie. That was me rewinding.
You just said it. Like, Charlie.
Sorry.
The reverse of Charlie.
Yeah.
Eloch. Anyway, let's go through the schedule. Thursday, we will be here for a press start special, talking about all things Deathloop, playing Deathloop for all you beautiful people.
That's going to be a really interesting show, actually. Generally, a really interesting show.
It should be good.
We have differing opinions. We're going to play some interesting things on Deathloop. We're going to play a game mode on Deathloop you've not played.
Yes.
So that's going to be really interesting. You should come along for that one.
Indeed. And then Saturday, we will be returning for What If? Episode 7. There's still 3 of these fucking things to go.
That'd be rich.
And it will be with Daddy himself, Richard
Except
Hill.
the fact I fired him for not liking Great Showman.
But he'll be in for that final show.
Just so I don't have to, only so I don't have to pay attention to What If.
But of course, immediately followed by the usually scheduled press start. Next Tuesday, of course, will be the final Mission Impossible to talk about in a bit one. Until next year, where there'll be Mission Impossible 7. Or whatever it may be called. And then, of course, Saturdays we'll be finishing What If. But after that, Tuesdays, after Mission Impossible, we will be talking about the Rush Hour trilogy. And let's see how problematic these movies are. It should be entertaining.
Incorrect. So...
It is incorrect. The Tuesday after that, after Mission Impossible, we will be talking about No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
And then, if that movie actually comes out, it's supposedly coming out in about 9 days. I'm still unconvinced.
After No Time to Die, What If would have ended.
Yes.
And so Tuesdays, there'll be 3 Tuesdays in a row of Rush Hour 1.
Hour 1, 2, and 3. And the Saturdays will be Spider-Man. Baby. We'll be talking about the original Sam Raimi trilogy and also the amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield. Don't know who. Mark Webb directed those movies, but no one cares about that.
So then we have... So you know where we're going as well, because we're going to lead towards these things. We will also be doing Eternals, which will be the Tuesday after...
I feel we're getting a bit ahead of it now.
But we just need to mention we're going to do Eternals.
Yes, we are going to do
We are going to do Eternals. So once the Rush Hour thing finishes, we will also be doing Eternals. So the 2 films you need to make sure you go out and see in the next few months is going to be...
There's 4 in the next few months.
Oh yeah, so No Time to Die we're going to do.
No Time to Die.
We're going to do Eternals.
Spider-Man and The Matrix.
So they're your 4 films you've got to go and see, so have that in the back of your mind. But the next few weeks... After What If ends.
After What If ends, after Mission Impossible ends, we will be doing Rush Hour on Tuesdays, and we will be doing Spider-Man on the Saturdays.
There you go.
Hannah says, I did all the Spider-Man films in a weekend before No Way Home. Do you mean Far From Home? Because No Way Home still hasn't come out yet.
I think she means Far From Home.
Yes, and it was too much. Don't do them all in a weekend. This will be across 5 weeks. It'll be nice. It'll be fine.
We're letting you spread it out. We're kind to you here.
Exactly. It'll be across 5 weeks, not in a weekend, because that would even be too much for me.
Yep. And then there are more announcements coming after that as well. But that
there will, absolutely.
Is for later.
That is for later. Hannah says, so you're so not ever going to do Parasite. We will at some point. But there's too much coming out, which needs too much prelude, which means... Like, Spider-Man's coming out, so we have to do Spider-Man. Matrix is coming out, so we have to do Matrix. And like, there's 4 of those. There's fucking 7 Spider-Man. There's films coming out in between. There's Hawkeye starting, which obviously we're going to have to do. Carnage. Do you know what happened when we tried to schedule this show?
It took us such a long time.
It took us like 3 hours after the shows last week. I think it was after Mission Impossible last week. I got home at approximately 4 a.m. and it was insane. It took ever. Rush Hour ended a while ago, so you have to do that. We do have to do Rush Hour.
Yeah, right. It's all free now. See, it's all been added.
And yes, Rush Hour is all available on free services. Thank be Jesus. For once, we get to do a series without being.
I thought you were going for a high five.
Without getting into debt. It's lovely. Anyway, I've been rambling. Unlike me.
For 14 minutes since I wrote down closing thoughts.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We have a lot to discuss.
It's fine. I do have to buy
MI6. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. I don't. That's the one I own.
I own them all. When we did number 1, I bought all of them. It was like on Apple TV, it was like £20 to buy all 6 in 4K.
I see.
So I was like, this is cheaper than renting them.
It's a good choice.
Purchase.
It's a good choice.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all very excited for the schedule we've got coming, and we'll talk about it all again on Saturday anyway, so that all those who disrespect us by not appearing.
We do have generally a lot more in the pipeline as well. So that's the next few weeks, but we don't want to.
And that's just Admit 1.
Yeah, that's just Admit 1. So
We're gonna die.
Off topic, unrelated, but interesting.
Funyuns, as in the word fun and onion put together. So Funyons is actually Funyuns. Funyuns. I take back the compliment I gave America the other day by coming up with a good name. That is the most ridiculous fucking thing they've done. And do you know how they became America? Moving on before I get in trouble.
Yes, yeah, we're edging onto difficult territory here.
Thank you all very much for joining. And until next time, we shall see you then.
Yes.